Hey guys, it's HuK. So, the newest vlog, I'm going to talk about mainly casters and I guess Am Cologne as well. It's a subject that I've kind of gotten in trouble for in the past. I've tried to be very outspoken about subjects within the community, whether they be sensitive or not. And when you talk about certain things like casters, there's a lot of esports politics that can get in the way, that can you can burn a lot of bridges for yourself. And I've definitely done that over the past. Not only that, I felt like I was taking a risk or, kind of putting myself in a negative position just so I could inform the public and do whatever. But then the public and the community actually gave me a lot of backlash as well. When I first thought of doing this vlog, I was thinking about doing it on casters, doing on individual casters, whether I like them or I don't like them, going down a list, which of course would burn a lot of bridges, go into political stuff as far as a lot of the English casters in Korea, or casting in general, because I do feel like there's a lot of issues on who gets what job, or people that get pushed out from the scene, or different pay grades and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, I've kind of decided against that for multiple reasons. Obviously, not wanting to burn a lot of bridges would be a big part of that. Another reason is I just don't feel like the community would push hard enough where there would be actual change. So in the end, I feel like it's kind of useless for myself to put myself in a vulnerable position where I don't feel like there's going to be any change or difference. If in the future I might speak out on it, or probably not. I mean, who knows? We'll see. But I do want to go into the subject of casters in general. Am Cologne is coming up. I am very, very, very excited for this tournament. It's a tournament I particularly didn't want to go to. I was kind of not wanting to go to it because the original WCS group time for round of 16 was supposed to be played basically in like 4 or 5 days when it was supposed to start, right after Am Cologne. It's now been postponed until the early, I think like 6th of April or something like that. But at the time, I was pretty confident. Well, I thought I had a good shot of making round of 16, and I didn't want to jet lag myself by going to a tournament where, only first place gets paid out, and it would affect my play and preparation for round of 16 negatively. I kind of wish I went to it now, knowing that it's in April. But anyways, enough of that. It's going to be a great tournament. We just came off of Am Cologne, which probably was one of the best tournaments for StarCraft 2 ever, game-wise and just spectator-wise. I know I watched a lot of the tournament, and I thought it was really, really good. Gameplay is a huge contribution to that fact. I think StarCraft 2 right now is the best it's ever been, and I've stated that previously. But I think one of the biggest glaring reasons of why that tournament was so good also was player casters. I've been a huge supporter and outspoken about how I love player casters, and I hope that there's more, and I hope that events keep hiring player casters. And when I say player casters, I mean players that cast as well, or recently retired professional players that are casters. A few of them that you guys might have known from Am Cologne is QXC had great analysis. I think he's well suited for that role. Todd is another great caster that was a player, is a player still. Sorry, Todd. I know we've touched on that subject on Twitter. I don't want to have you misinterpret me. He is a really good player. He's been in WCS very recently, so I don't think he made it out of his group, but he is a really, really top level player as well as a caster, which is rare to come from. Jeff, who's like recently retired, he still plays a lot, and he still plays in like clan wars and tournaments. I think he recently did really well in the Twitch Ender Games tournament, and he's a caster as well. Rhett, recently really good caster and player as well. So one of the biggest reasons I think Cologne was such a big success, and that people love that tournament so much, is a big contributing factor to that was that there were player casters there. They pointed out a lot of things casters don't generally see. They bring a lot of the beauty of the game, I guess. There's a lot of things that professional players will recognize and see that your normal caster will not see, or won't give the amount of credit that is due for something that is so small or seems such an insignificant thing. Like anybody can see a big battle, or see like a storm drop, or see something cool like a neural parasite or something, and like say, oh, that was really cool. There's a lot of little things that make the game like so beautiful, just great. And it's a lot easier as a player to pick those little things out and point them out, or go into stylistic things with players, or go into different like mind games that are going on in that game, or how the players are reading each other, or what scouting information leads to what. And I think a lot of casters miss on that. I think players are really good at those parts. I think casters are pretty good. But when I watch a lot of casters nowadays, whether it be from Korean games, I mean like English casters in Korea, or even WCS, or the many other tournaments from a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of tournaments. When I watch my favorite casters, or even the casters that I don't really like, or I'm suggesting you try to pick up on this and watch your favorite casters and try to do the same thing. A lot of casters of what they're casting is so much filler. Like, I listen to them and it's just filler. Whether it be about what 8-bit games they're playing, how they used to love this game that was on the N64, what this person's wearing, or like pop culture references or whatever. And I'm not saying you have to be, talking about StarCraft 24/7 nonstop, not really, talking about anything else. I think a good amount of joking, funny jokes when they pop up or you get an opportunity, that's great. I love it. I'll laugh at a cast all the time when they make good jokes. I'm all for it. But recently, well, especially recently, there's a lot of casters, and it just sounds like filler. Even the StarCraft, when they're talking about StarCraft 2, it's just filler. They're just saying things. It's just like word vomit that's coming out of their mouths. It's not like they're uniquely casting each match or each player. It's not even like game stuff. It's like about the player, or about like how he's done recently, or his mindset, or his general style. Casters, or the community in general, would say like, oh, HuK, he's a very aggressive Protoss. He likes to all in a lot. He likes to blah blah blah, whatever. That's cool. I don't agree with that, obviously. I think it's very negative on me. But those are the things that people like to hear, or how they've been changing, or let's say that's my style and that's how you see me as a player, but I play a macro game. Then you say, well, this is cool, we're seeing another side, etc. I just don't see that from casters. I see like a lot of word vomit, and I feel like if you guys listen in to your favorite casters, you'll hear it too. It's just so much filler, where if you have a player caster, they are giving a lot of in-depth stuff. They're bringing a lot of intricate small things and specific things to players, or the matches, or the map, or that tournament, or player conditions, or how they feel that player's playing on that certain day, whether they seem tired or whatever. There's a lot that they can add, because one, they know other professional players on a very more personal basis. Even if they don't know them as a friend or an enemy, they know them from playing them from time to time, or in other tournaments, or they have a better feel for that kind of thing. Casters won't have that, and it's not their fault a lot of the time, but they just won't have that. And that's why I'm going to come to my final point, is that player casters and caster combos are the best. I definitely feel like casters carry the cast in a lot of ways. For the example of Rhett, I think he's a great player caster, and I think he's like one of the new ones that I would like to see more often in tournaments. And my relationship with Rhett has been off and on, good and bad, over the years. So it's not like we're good friends and I'm just trying to like shove him in your face because we're good friends. And he knows that. But I definitely do like him as a player caster, and I think I hope to see more of him. QXC, obviously, Todd, all those people I named, and others. But I think having a player caster with a real caster is the best combination. There's a lot of things player casters don't do well. Like Rhett, for example, he has like a softer voice. You're not going to see him yell like a caster would when something exciting happens or a big battle happens. He won't be the guy that's like, oh, look at this, he's engaging, oh, this is the final battle, blah, 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 like you might see like Apollo do or something, who I also like Apollo. I think he's a good caster, but you would never see Rhett. I think the most I saw Rhett get excited when he was doing Am Cologne would be like, wow, wow, look at that, that's so cool. I don't do a good impersonation, but player casters just won't have that in them. A lot of them don't naturally get excited like that, or they can't force themselves to get excited like that as a caster could. Another thing, player casters won't be good at, mentioning sponsors so accurately, or segueing into different, let's send it to blah, or let's send it to here, or thank you for that, Red Eye, let's talk about whatever. So I definitely think the combination works well. Casters are going to be really good at doing, what's on screen, what you're looking at. Okay, he's going to scout. Oh, he's at the top left, he's at the top right, blah, blah, blah. And then, a player can come in and do, more in-depth stuff. I think if you had two-player casters, their roles are going to kind of overlap. They're both going to see a lot of small details that they want to talk about. They're not going to be so good at the filler stuff. They're not going to be so good at casting what's on the screen at that particular moment. I hope that in the future, and particularly at Am Cologne, we're going to see a lot of player caster and caster combinations. I feel like that's best, and I feel like that was a huge part of why Am Cologne was such a great tournament. Not only the games, but the presentation of the games. I just hope, in general, the community can help push that, and I hope organizations are going to watch my vlog, the people that make the decision of who gets hired, who doesn't get hired. I feel like it helps so much when you have those two combinations. Even if you're just having a player like HuK who wants to step in and do analysis on his own game, that was really cool, and I think he was really good for that. Obviously, not all players can be player casters, so I'm just gonna add that little asterisk now at the bottom. If you guys ever seen Home Story Cup or Seat Story Cup, whatever we're calling it, and you've seen players cast, it's a great event and it's fun to see players do that and hang out and all that stuff, but there's a lot of players that shouldn't cast. There's a lot of players that aren't good for it. If you don't speak English fluently, or you can't flow properly, or you just don't have that personality, I guess, to be outspoken and talk in a comfortable manner in front of a camera, then you're gonna have a hard time doing that. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, final point, if you're a caster, do not claim to be something you are not. There's a lot of casters in the past that have said, I'm Grandmaster, or I'm Masters, or I'm this, or I'm that, or blah, 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 blah. Don't talk shit. Real players, pro players, can pretty much tell where you're at. You might fool the community about random shit, and a lot of top casters are moving on to other things, whether it be other games or whatever. That's cool. I'm not hating. Do what you do. I mean, everybody needs to make money. Everybody needs to provide for their family and friends and whatnot. But let's not kid anybody. We should give credit where credit due. Just don't claim to be something you're not. It's stupid. I wish more people called them out on their bullshit. But anyways, thanks for watching my vlog, guys, and I hope you liked my thought. Thanks for supporting me. I made a round of 16 WCS in a pretty tough group, and I'm really happy about it, and I'm going to keep practicing to, hopefully get better. Alright, thanks. Bye.